I'm still a little congested, so I'm trying not to sniffle every 5 seconds, but it's gonna happen.
Good times.
Yes. You ever finally sit down, like really sit down, and that's the exact moment someone yells your name from the other room?
Oh, yeah, every time. It's like the universe knows. The second I get comfortable, someone needs a snack, the dog's barking, or my phone's ringing.
So whether you're listening in the car, hiding in the bathroom, or actually lucky enough to sit down,
Grab your coffee and let's get into it. Welcome to I Just Sat Down. Have you ever noticed that balance is the word we all say we want, but none of us can actually define it? We say we want work life balance, mom balance, marriage balance, self care balance. But if we're honest, most days don't feel balanced. They feel full or chaotic or stretched thin. And often, when trying to find balance, we just find more overwhelm. And maybe the problem isn't with us, maybe it's with the word. Because when we say, I just want balance, what we actually mean is, I don't want to feel guilty all the time. I don't want to feel behind in everything. I want to feel present in my life. I want to stop feeling like I'm failing in two places at once. Today, we're unpacking the myth of balance, where the idea came from, why it feels impossible in motherhood and entrepreneurship, and what we actually mean when we say we want it. So let's jump into this. I feel like the last point in our little intro, I want to stop feeling like I'm failing in two places at once, is like such a hit for anyone who is a mom who also is working, right? Because it's impossible. It's impossible to give 100% at work and 100% at home, especially for maybe those mamas who are just getting back to work after having that time off. Bless you. I don't know what that's like, but but I felt like that a little bit in going back so early. It was like that guilt and I am I failing as a mom because I can't split myself in two? And I feel like that's where people overuse this word of like, well, if you just find balance in that. And it's like, well, no, now we feel guilty because we're literally splitting ourselves in two. I have to be 100% at work, especially somebody who's coming into or looking at this from a boss's perspective. They expect you to be on, they expect you to be delivering, maybe delivering in the same way you did before you had a child. And like, you're just not that person anymore. Sorry, you're not. You're a completely different human. So that trying to find that quote unquote balance, it's virtually impossible, I
Mhm.
think.
Yeah, I feel like the word failure is like what strikes me because when you think about failure, you think about like letting other people down, letting yourself down. And I think self is huge because it's something that you put the weight on for yourself. So if you're able to switch that mindset part of it and be like, I'm doing the best that I can in the moments that I'm struggling, or like I'm doing the best I can with what I currently know. Because
Yeah.
yeah, especially like I was having this conversation with another mom last night regarding going back to work after first having kids. And for me, like I went back in 3 months and I worked for the government. I didn't work for myself. So it was
Mhm.
like I felt the guilt of letting everybody else at work down because they're now having to rely on, each other without me being there. Also, some people are just fucking assholes about it. Like they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh god, you're going to be off for a year." Like, thinking like that's so selfish that I was going to take a year off to be with my child. And then for me, like my contracts on in my job were expiring, and I was like, oh god, I want to make sure that I have that security in life, right? And
Right.
I don't want to let my spouse down that I'm not going to have that, and I don't want to let my family down that I'm doing that. But now am I letting my son down by not being there for him after 3 months old? Like there's just, and the guilt I feel like is still a lingering feeling in the back of my body somewhere, that I wasn't able to spend that nurturing time with them then. And that's why it's so important for me now as they get older to have that time with them.
Right.
Um, And I'm a Libra. So balance is supposed to come so naturally for us. And it's something that I question all the time because I'm not a balanced person.
Right.
Maybe somewhat in my relationships, I feel a bit more balanced because I can give and take in that sense. But when it comes to my work home life balance, I'm getting better as I give a fuck less about what people think of me,
Yeah.
right? But I feel like it's an internal battle, trying to find that quote unquote balance in life.
But yeah, I think too, it's just like, where did this expectation of balance even come from? Because
Men,
honestly, like,
men, men want us to do it
well,
all.
it's true.
Martha
It's true.
Stewart also, I blame her a little bit.
I know, right? And it's so funny because years ago, the women didn't really have to think about this because, we were just expected to stay home and raise the children. And like, I mean, there's still a lot to balance in that sense. If we think about it like that, obviously, even if you are a mom who stays at home, you're literally balancing school schedules and everybody's different schedules and,
A clean
all
house
these.
and dinner being made for all every day
Yeah.
of every whatever.
For the rest of our lives deciding what's for
Dun,
dinner.
dun,
But
dun.
I think a lot of this like balance culture, can we even call it
Oh,
that? Because like honestly,
yeah.
it's like we are now living in a society where most of the people have two incomes. You're both working while having children, while balancing all the things, right? And I just feel like, we see it so much on social media, like these people just have it all together. And I know right now, like the skylight promotions are like popping up, like everyone can just do their own schedule and your kids can do their own chores and all this stuff, and it's gonna help with your work-life balance. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I just feel like it's all just bullshit. We just going by the seat of our pants here,
Yeah.
it's just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to enforce that schedule.
Right? Somebody has to like go on and make sure that everything's being checked off and doing all the things. So there's still that, all of that weight in the back of our minds. And it's just so hard to, again, quote unquote, balance things. Like,
Yeah.
I think as I get more into motherhood here, I just kind of feel like I just do my best to give my attention to what's in front of me. Right.
Yeah.
So when the little guy's at school, like, here we go. This is the time I have to work. And when he was only going to daycare twice a week, and then it went to 3 times a week, those days that I had him here, that I was also trying to work, like that kind of balance was not working.
Right.
I did feel as though I was failing most days because, I'd be trying to write an email and I would snap at him. And it's
Right.
like, it's not his fault. He's here. He sees me. He wants to play or he wants to do whatever, right? And so I feel like I have more balance now with him being in care full time so that I can actually focus at what's in front of me. So I can focus on my work and not have a toddler right here because this is
Yeah.
where he will be right beside me.
And that balance looks different for everyone in every household. And, because balance
Yeah.
implies like the husband and wife leaning on each other and, the whole 50-50 thing, which is
Yeah.
actually, as we always hear, it's 80 some days for one and 20 when, when the other one's struggling. And
Yeah.
it's just picking up where you can. And I feel like, I am very grateful in my home because Corey's very, very good at when I'm unwell, picking up the slack without giving me a hard time about it. If
Yeah.
I hear him kind of complaining or upset about something, I know that it literally has nothing to do with me. Like he's just sick of doing the dishes himself.
Right.
He's sick of doing things, which I completely understand because some days all summer long when he works long hours, it's me doing all of the things all the time. So in the
Yeah.
winter, I just let him do the things.
And I feel like that brings up a really good point because it's not so much about like the mental load of balance, but it is about communication. If your communication is good, then the balance in your household will certainly be better. So if that's something that you're really struggling with is finding that balance, it's like maybe you should look at how we're communicating within our household. So are you taking on too much because your spouse doesn't know that you're drowning? Like those are things that are really important, right? Like you say, like Corey recognizes when you need the help, but sometimes that goes unrecognized,
Absolutely.
and I think that obviously, like newer relationships or someone who maybe is like in the thick of like that newborn season, like your husband might not know when you actually need help because you're the one feeding the baby, getting up with the baby, all those things, right? So I think in order to have great balance comes having great communication.
Yeah, and a partner that recognizes you, because for the longest time, I'm going to be completely honest, it wasn't that wasn't there.
Right.
It felt a lot on me, especially when the kids were little and we are in that survival mode of like all of the things all at all
Yeah.
times, like toddlers and babies together. It was very, very difficult for me. I felt like I was emotionally just distraught all the time, and I felt like I was, yeah, definitely drowning at all times. Like I guess it is a perspective of like, yes, right now in this moment I'm very grateful because I didn't have it before. I
Right.
recognize that I'm getting a little bit more help nowadays that I definitely didn't have before, and it's not, I feel like it's more common to not have that help than it
Yeah.
is to have somebody to rely on, right? And a lot of times it's not your spouse. A lot of times it can be a parent that sees you and wants to be there for you and help you, and as much as you try to push them away, just let them help.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
They want to
I
be there
think
for you.
like that's a good kind of segue into like talking about what we actually mean when we say we want balance. We say we want balance, but really we want to feel supported. We want to feel aligned. We want to feel, present in that moment. And I think like just exactly what I talked about before is like when I can actually just sit down and work, or when I can just be present with my son when he's home, like that's so important to me. And I feel that balance when I can do that, when I can turn my work mind off, which, as an entrepreneur, that doesn't happen
Mhm.
really very often. But I am in a place of my business where, if we're out doing something, I don't have to be like, "Ooh, hold on, I gotta this email needs to be answered right now." Like sometimes, but for the most part, it can wait until we get
Yeah.
home. Or we can wait until we're done making our magnificent Magnetiles
Yeah.
tower. So
Love it.
I feel like, yeah, we just want breathing room. We want breathing room from that, like those expectations of what balance is. So I think sometimes when we think, oh, I just need more balance, what we really need is, to just be intentional with your time. You want to stop feeling like you're constantly catching up. P.S. What's that like?
Yeah, right. Jesus. I think
Like,
feeling aligned is definitely like that's what stuck out for me. Like just feeling more
yeah,
aligned and being balanced, right? Like, okay, oh, I got these orders done, yay me, and I was also able to chill out and watch a movie with my family today. Like those are
right.
things where I feel most like centered about doing things like that. Obviously,
Absolutely.
there's always going to be the things where they're not going to be done, they're not going to be finished, and we
Right.
were talking about like the balance like in the household, which is funny because on Saturday, me and my son, I'm like, okay, I want to clean this living room, I want to clean all the things. I'm in my luteal phase, what the fuck am I thinking, I'm going to be exhausted in 5 minutes, but I
Yeah.
was like, okay, let's just get things done, send the girls upstairs, go clean your rooms, right? I can't focus on two things at once. So we are going hard. We did a great job. I felt great about it on Saturday. My niece stopped by. It was wonderful. I go upstairs to look at the girls' rooms and I'm like, "Oh, you guys got to the part where you took everything apart," and then was like, "I'm done."
I'm done.
So that's a project for another day. We're happy with what came out of the beginning of it, right?
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
and again, that comes with the support and everything else. Corey's been working a lot more, so he's not able to be there to be like, all right, you guys are upstairs, I'm upstairs with you. I'm yet like
Right.
there was, it's just I feel like balance is just such a broad range of everything going on in our life. But it's dependent on how you put that on yourself as well, right?
Yeah. And like there's seasons that come with that too, right? Like you just mentioned, like your luteal phase, like, that's not when things are going to
Feel
be
good.
perfect, right? Feel
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. And even the same thing, like, I mean, I went through my whole decluttering phase. I feel like I'm going to amp it up again a little bit with like the spring cleaning and that kind of stuff. And that will throw the balance off because I'll be focusing on those things and not getting other things done. Right.
Right.
So I think it's just like, it's all the things that we're just trying to do. Like, are we just trying to do too much? Should I just sit down and not do anything?
Sometimes, yeah, that's good for you too. I mean, it's not a bad thing to just sit and do nothing some days. Like, I'm excited for this afternoon to just sit and catch up on Tell Me Lies because Corey's home. Like,
Perfect.
I was dumb thinking that I could start a show and watch it together, and then I'm like waiting 4 days to like, can we catch another episode? Can we just sit down and just relax? No, because we are both very busy people right now, and we're
Yeah.
trying to like find that time to come together, just him and I, because it's not a kid show, obviously. So I'm like
Right.
trying to sit there and just let's just have a moment, nothing else around me.
I
Luteal
know.
phase, snacks. Give me snacks and TV. I want a cozy blanket. I want
Snacks.
nothing else. Yeah.
I know. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about some ways that people can incorporate more quote unquote balance into their lives. So I think setting priorities is huge
Mhm.
and just kind of letting go of, I saw this reel online and it was like, I wrote down my to-do list today and I got a couple things done. And tomorrow I'm preparing to write out the same to-do list. Just start again.
Yeah.
And it's so true. It hit because I'm just like, yeah, like sometimes I can crush a to-do list, no problem. And then other times I'm like, no, like this stuff is tomorrow, Crystal's problem tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's true, right? Like I think that setting those priorities and making sure like, okay, like today, for example, like it's March 2nd and I still haven't sent out my monthly email yet. So that's a priority. That's something that needs to get done. It's the Monday. I usually not sending out an email on a Sunday when the first of the month falls on a weekend. But like still haven't wrote it. Got to do that today. That's priority. If that one thing gets done today, on top of my laundry and editing and posting and all these different things, that's the one thing that's the priority. So trying to separate those
Yeah.
priorities from what you actually need to get done. Like my to-do list, if I really wrote it out, could be a fucking mile long. Like, I have
Step by
magnets to
step.
make and photos to edit and laundry to do and floors to clean, and it's all the things, right? But
Yeah.
I think you will find more balance if you are just prioritizing one or two things realistically that you can get done in a day, right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel
And
like
just,
I just struggle with it regardless. Like it's
yeah,
yeah.
I know, but also like letting go of those ideas
Pressure.
that you're going to like do all these things. Like I have a post going out today, and one of the the recaps is just like I told myself that I would walk 10K a day every day in February. I hit that goal twice,
Hmm.
two times out of 28 days.
Which you should be proud
So,
of.
right, I am, but I
Yeah.
think it was just like not finding that balance
Right.
of like, okay, what is more realistic? Hitting 6K a day totally realistic. That's what I averaged.
Mhm.
So this month I'm like, okay, well, like let's try for like between 7 and 8K a day. That's gonna be the new goal because I clearly set my goal I was a little ambitious. I don't know why I thought that I would hit 10K. 10K is hard unless I'm like
Yeah.
intentionally walking twice a day.
Yeah.
Like it's a stretch, guys. It's a stretch
I
goal.
I even on the days that I like go and do walking trips with the school, like I never hit 10K, like maybe 7 or 8. I remember the one time I hit like 13K because we were doing a garage sale and I was literally running up and down, back and forth. All of that was years ago, my friend.
Yeah.
But it was like because I wore the Apple Watch and I paid attention. Like most days I
Right.
don't even
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm doing, but it was one of those things I recognized and I was like, that has never happened before. Yay me.
Right.
But it
But
was
I think it's
intentional.
like with simple things too. I always say like I want a meal prep. I want a meal prep. And like
Oh
I don't have time. Like yesterday, Dave was at hockey and he had the little guy with him and I had 2 sessions. I got home just in time to like do a couple of things and like people are always like, "Oh, you can just like meal prep on the weekend." And I'm like, "What weekend? Like what are you talking about?" And on a Monday, I'm playing catch up with everything else. And I don't want to do that. So I think for Dave and I, what works is just like planning what we're going to eat.
Yeah,
So
the
like I'm
grocery
not
shopping
making
list.
anything, but
Yeah.
I know like what we're going to have every night of the week for dinner.
Which
And
that's
that's about
a
as far
big
as we
deal.
go.
Yeah, that's huge. I just
But
know
that's
that we're gonna have
perfect.
pasta at some point this week. Like
Of course we are.
every like our I feel like sometimes when I look at like how we eat in our home and stuff like that, for the most part, we're pretty like conscious of how we're eating and the food that we're putting in our body. Corey is very much more like intelligent in that aspect of it because I don't think food smart. I think
Right.
get the food in my body when I'm starving.
Hmm.
I am bad for like all like I haven't eaten yet. 10:30 is not too bad. Yesterday I had breakfast because he said, "Hey, make an egg. I made bacon, you make the egg, eat the food." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I just don't feel like eating." And especially like being unwell for the past little while, I just
Yeah.
everything just feels off anyways, but I'm not good that way. And he's the one to be like, "Hey, like voice of reason here." So we don't have this whole meal planning thing. We never have. I've never been good with meal planning. When I'm trying to eat a certain way, like trying to add in more protein or trying to have more meats or whatever,
Yeah.
when I'm doing my grocery list, that's when I know, okay, I know that I need to get these things when I'm out. And then if they're in the fridge, I will eat them. If they're
Yes.
readily available, like I would
Yeah.
just be eating Lunchables every day if that was the case.
Seriously. I know.
Or
It's the
pay
same.
somebody
It's
else to do it.
absolutely. You just need to having food prepped is a game changer for sure. But like it's not for me. I don't have time to do that. Will I buy things that are easier to have ready to go?
Yeah.
Like the Costco chicken packs.
Oh yeah.
Those are the best things ever.
Some seasons are heavy in motherhood, heavy in business, heavy in healing, heavy in growth. And
Absolutely.
that's completely normal. That is something that we all go through. That is
Yeah,
something
don't go down the rabbit hole of thinking that people mainly on Instagram just have their whole lives together. They're just so
nobody does.
balanced because they don't.
Nobody.
They're lying.
Yeah.
Like when you see this beautiful clean kitchen before them, tell them to do a little sweep around because I
Yeah.
bet you behind the camera is a fucking disaster.
Yeah. I
Straight
love
up.
the D influencers that are like, okay,
Mm,
this is what my house really looks like. And I'm like, I could do that, but
love it.
that's like I don't show anything clean in my house. So I wouldn't be D influencing shit.
I just I just blur the background, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, right. But yeah,
Magnets and everything. Oh
it's
Lord.
completely normal. Like,
Yeah.
it feels like, okay, the beginning of motherhood when you're first having that little newborn and how heavy that feels, it doesn't really end. It's just different phases of that journey, right? Like
Yeah.
every age has its own challenges. Every like, the school stuff with drama with friends or, high school having to battle teaching them about what drugs are and what sex is and oh god, all
It's
the
just
things that
different forms of heaviness.
Yeah.
Motherhood's
Yeah.
hard, guys. That's why we're
Toddler
here.
toddler and baby stage, I will admit, yes, you are way busier because you
Mm,
cannot sit down for 2 seconds. Every time
right.
I think about, oh, like, you know, like with I have, nieces and nephews that are just like little guys, and I'm like, you guys are tired. You guys are busy. You don't
Yeah.
stop. You can't sit down and have a conversation without getting up every 5 seconds. Be like, where'd they go? What are they doing? What are they into?
Who needs a snack?
Me. I need a fucking snack. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
it's
you're running on empty half the time too because you're exhausted. There's lack of sleep. Kids are always either crawling in your bed or crying in the middle of the night. There's always things that are going on that people in your everyday life aren't feeling that sympathy for you because they don't know. They don't understand. We're not wearing a shirt every day that says this is how my night went. You're just having to go
exactly
through the day and figure it all out. And aside from motherhood, same with business, you have your own day-to-day struggles of either unhappy clients or people questioning your business, and it's hard to like, not take that all personal, but at the same time, your shit, everything about what you want in this life and what you want with your business, and you can't let anybody get in on that. When it comes to your healing journey, very personal. I don't believe that every healing journey needs to be private. I can vouch for that. I'm very open with my healing journey because I dealt with it in silence for most of my life, and that did absolutely fuck all for me. So
yeah.
now I'm very open about everything that I've gone through in my life. I try not to put it on my kids as they're young. Like, I'm open about it if they ask questions, but they don't know everything about what I went through in life because that's my trauma that they don't need to pick up unintentionally yet.
Right.
So, but I'm very open about it because I feel like not only do other people need to kind of hear other people's stories for relatability, to know that they're
Yeah.
not alone, to understand that, wow, that's some crazy shit. Like, there's,
Yeah.
or even just to see that person and be like, okay, they got through that and they're still here, or they got through it and look, they're happy and living a, normal-ish life and not on drugs in an alley somewhere, like good things still can come out of shitty situations. And
Yeah. And I think good or like conversations can come out of sharing as well, right? Like I've been sharing a little bit just about like what I've been going through and the amount of DMs that I have had from other women. It's wild and devastating all at the same time, you know?
yeah,
But yeah, I think it's all normal, you know? It's
yeah,
like it's totally normal to feel chaotic while you're trying to feel that balance and finding that balance. And I think sometimes things just need to play out to find that balance again, right? So
yeah,
I do love the 80% rule. I absolutely love this. That if you are showing up 80% in one area, you're thriving,
yeah,
not failing,
yeah,
right?
for
And which
sure.
is crazy to think about because we think that giving 100% is the only way. You know, when you're in school, you're taught that if you don't get 100%, then, your grade's not 100%. So
Yeah,
but I think looking at life as a whole, like hell, if we're doing 75% some days, we're winning the game. We're winning it, you guys,
yeah. I've worked for people that 110%. If you're not doing 110%, what are you even doing? And you're like, you guys are fucking delusional. Like
Right.
110%.
And
What?
honestly,
That's not a thing.
I feel like that's where a lot of people fail.
Yeah,
You
that's the
know, like
culture of.
we're in a time right now where we're heading into March. Like those January goals are a distant memory for some
Yes.
people. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And did you really fail because you didn't do 100%? No. Like if you did a little bit towards your goal every single day, you'd be 2 months in to making that goal a reality, right?
Yeah. If
So I
only those
think it's
little changes. Those little
like I feel
changes.
like
Yeah.
the fitness era, especially like these goals for moms after they have babies and stuff, like that, giving 100%, you're never going to be able to give 100% to your fitness routine again because you're literally working, raising humans, all the things. But if you walk 6K a day, guys, every day. No, but like what I'm saying is like I think just working towards these goals instead of having that 100% mindset,
Yeah.
that's just setting yourself up for failure because who can give 100% every day? We can't. You
Yeah.
can't,
Just
you
trying
know?
to do something for yourself is like huge. Trying to do something towards what you want for yourself is huge. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
I think my goals when I first had kids was like, can I get 3 hours of sleep tonight? Can I get 4 hours of sleep tonight? Can I eat something
Right?
that didn't come out of a box today?
Yeah, absolutely. Can I
Right.
remember that I need to nourish my body? Can I shower this week? Like,
Yep. Bring that bouncy
honestly.
seat in the bathroom with me. Yep.
Yeah, I think that rule just brings us back to that like fantasy version. Like
Right.
you if you're sleeping 3 hours a day, you're not waking up at well, maybe you are waking up at 5 a.m., but like that's not a realistic thing. You're not gonna set that as a goal, If your baby's still sleeping at 5 a.m., guess who is also still sleeping? You, my friend, I hope,
Yeah.
because get all that sleep that you can, right?
Yeah.
So
And then just remembering to prioritize the things that are most important to you. So your weekly three things that you want to prioritize with work, with home, and then everything else is just a bonus, right?
love it. It's so, so true.
Yep. And then letting go of all of the expectations that you hold on yourself. Because
That
that's
down.
where we seem to struggle is that when we expect these things of ourselves, even like a past version of ourselves that we're hanging on to, right?
Mhm.
When we let those things go.
You have to.
Yeah.
I love
All
it.
right. Did you want to get into some rapid fire?
Yeah, let's.
All right. What is one thing that feels most out of balance in your life right now?
Nothing really feels out of balance. I feel like because I'm not in my busy season, sometimes that trips me up a little bit.
Mhm.
Um I find that I thrive in chaos and
Mhm.
sometimes things kind of get pushed down when I'm not busy.
Yeah, and emotionally, you start to kind of doubt things about yourself when you don't feel
Yeah,
busy. Yeah.
for sure.
I'm the same way. I feel like I guess at this point, like we are used to this is the time of year that it is less busy, but
Yes, so
also
I
as
am
it starts
used to
to
it, but
yeah, and then as it starts to pick up, we're like, okay, wait, where are we going? What are we doing here?
yeah, hold on.
Um,
I'm not ready.
Coffee alone or catching up on work? Which are you choosing?
I mean, I feel like for me, those are the same thing
Drinking
because
coffee while doing the work.
drinking coffee while I'm working, so that's not really a question for me.
Yeah. Are you better at time management or energy management?
Ooh, probably time management. Your girl's never late.
Okay. I think I'm better as the kids are older. My time management is way better. I'm getting there earlier and stuff, but um I think my energy management because of my boundaries and
Yeah.
where I feel like I need to lean into and not lean into and I'm okay saying no to a lot of things that I feel are not for me. I think my energy management is stronger. One thing you've officially stopped trying to do it all in.
I've officially stopped trying to get 10K a day. No. No. Um, just in it all. Like I think I've just realized that, some days I have capacity for X, Y, and Z, and other days I don't. And I've stopped being hard on myself about that.
Good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
huge. Yeah. Um, Stop trying to do it all in my chores, my day-to-day chores, because it'll still be there tomorrow. I'm not that concerned.
absolutely.
When do you feel most present now?
Ooh, I don't know. I guess just I don't know. That's hard to say.
Like my paranoia, I'm always present when we're out of the house. Like if we're out in public, I'm very much like holding hands with the kids, making sure I see who's around me. That's not a
Right.
balancing. That is a trauma.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's Desi's trauma right there coming
Yeah.
through. I think for me
But
it's more about just like having those intentional moments at home. So like, when we sit down for dinner, we're not on our phones, we're
yeah.
having dinner. Like that's when I try and be more present, especially because like little guy's been at school all day and I just want to like be with him, find out how his day was. And sometimes that's hard because he comes home some days and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
did we not nap today?
Yeah.
Which he doesn't. So some days are worse than others. But yeah, I think that's when I feel most present is just when we're together as a family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say bedtime's usually the best time for those conversations.
Except
What's
I'm like, go the fuck to sleep,
yeah,
child.
yeah, yeah. That's true. What's one unrealistic expectation you put on yourself?
10K a day.
10K a day. Yeah, there you go.
I'm just going back to that every day. I'm just like,
Yeah.
because yesterday I was doing my recap and I looked to see how many times I actually hit it. And I was like, two.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think that was just an unrealistic expectation for myself. Period.
And that's okay. And then you can build up if
Yeah.
that's what you want. Yeah. I don't know about unrealistic for me. I'm so delusional that I think everything is realistic to some
Amen.
extent.
I love it.
And then what's one thing you need help with but don't ask for?
Oh God.
That's such a hard thing because everything, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Just, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to manage like what, 4 different Instagrams right now, but like I want to do it. So it's hard to ask.
yeah,
But yeah, you know,
yeah,
that's it. Nothing super crazy. It's just posting,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I feel like you're posting a lot. You post a lot, yeah.
I've upped my game trying to.
Okay.
Anyways.
For me, it's just learning how to eat better, how to take care of my body better. That's for sure like my biggest struggle, but I don't overthink it. It's just like I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But I'm still like it's a daily sneaky thought in my head like I wish I knew better ways of taking care of my body and you know,
I feel like even too, like because you are entering like the perimenopause, like everything you actually know is
yeah.
just it's just gone though. Like you have to like retrain. That's like a whole new era of eating, if you will. So
Good. I'm
yeah.
glad I skipped the last 40 years of knowing anything then, and I'll just start fresh now.
Yeah, it's a little bit different now for sure. For sure.
And then the last thing is if balance didn't exist as a goal, what would you chase instead? The dream.
Mhm. Yeah, just the dream. Just living the dream.
Like
You
what's
know what?
that?
I don't even I feel like I have so many boundaries now that for me, I think that's why I enjoyed this conversation because it's not really about balance anymore. It's about how I actually feel. And like, I think you learn where to put priorities
And yeah,
in.
energy and yep. Yep.
Yeah, all those things. So,
Yeah.
and this is a perfect outro. So maybe balance isn't the goal. Maybe it's peace, or maybe it's alignment. Maybe it's looking at your week and saying, this was full, this was messy, but it was mine. You're not failing because you're stretched. You are stretched because you care deeply about multiple beautiful things. So the next time you say, I just want balance, pause and ask yourself, what do you actually need right now? Because chances are it's not balance, it's permission, and you have it. Bye, guys.
Bye. Well, that went by fast. Kind of like every quiet moment we try to have in real life.
Right? I swear I just sat down.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
We hope this episode made you laugh, think, or at least reminded you that you're not the only one trying to hold it all together.
Because none of us really have it figured out.
If you enjoyed this episode, hit that follow or subscribe button so you never miss when we finally get to sit down again.
And share it with a friend who could use a little reminder that it's okay to take a break, because she deserves it too.
You can find us over on Instagram and TikTok at ijustsatdown.podcast. We love hearing from you, your stories, your wins, and even your "you won't believe what happened to me today" moments.
Next week, we're diving into looking at how we got here.
It's going to be a good one, so get comfy because by the time you finally sit down, we'll be right here with you.